So in all that, remember, God is standing in your present situation. And as He stands in your present situation right now, yes, it pains Him deeply. But He's also standing in your future at the very same time. He's looking at the beautiful person you're going to turn out to be. The very same God that helped me to become the woman that I am today and stand here. So as God stands now in your present, He's also standing in your past at the very same time. The way God looks at your situation right now in the present is inseparable to the promises He made to Himself concerning you in the past. This is how we know that God is incapable of lying, because as He stands in your past voicing out the promise, He's at the same time standing in your present busy executing them. So He said, I will not let more on you than you can bear. And He said, in future, you will be this woman. And as He was voicing it out, He was there in the future, executing the promises that He was making at the time when I was in tears. So God's executions in the present are directly linked to the promises in the past. And His provisions in the present are directly linked to His desired outputs in the future. So as a woman who was once a teenager and got raped a number of times, as a woman who became a teenage mom, as a woman who was diagnosed with cervical cancer and got judged in the present because they said, no, cervical cancer is people that has been sleeping around and what, you are going through something difficult and people are busy judging you. As a woman who had gone through chemotherapy 3 times, as a woman who had miscarriages 3 times, as a woman who had to deal with an impossible teenager, as a woman whose marriage almost fell apart, as painful as it was, I know for certain that I was never alone. In all that, God was standing with me. In that moment, in that situation, He was there, presently there. Just as He stood in my future, right at that very same moment, celebrating all that I will be and all I will achieve. God is standing in your present situation right now. And it pains Him deeply to see you going through the havocs of your current situation. As you pass through trials and tribulations, as life is busy showing you flames, remember, God is standing in your present situation right now. As your friends are busy saying things about you behind your back, as your relatives and loved ones lose hope in your situation, and even your life partner becomes lesser and lesser accommodative, remember, God is standing in your present situation right now. When as a parent you are busy struggling with a delinquent teenager, and the world seems to be successfully consuming your family, when everything starts to fall apart, remember, God is standing in your present situation right now. Or some incident or past that is haunting you, like my rape ordeal. Like we said, I wrote a book about it. It's called A Letter to My Past. This is present. Okay? This is my book cover. A Letter to My Past is a journey of my very interesting story. It took me years to write it because it was emotional. I had to dig deep. You can imagine if you have to think how he smelled when he was raping you, how he breathed, how he, you have to go back to the dead, raising the dead, basically. But I had to do it because now I keep counseling people, but they need to know, I understand. I may not understand like you understand, because how you feel is different from how I felt. But somehow I understand. So in all that, remember, God is standing in your present situation. And as He stands in your present situation right now, yes, it pains Him deeply. But He's also standing in your future at the very same time. He's looking at the beautiful person you're going to turn out to be. He's looking at the strong character you possess not so long from now. He's looking at the wealth of experience you have gathered for the benefit of others who will be going through the same situation as yours. He's looking at the better person you turn out to be. And so as He stands in your present situation right now, and yes, it does pain Him deeply, but He says, let it be, for the fulfillment of what He desires you to become in the future. And therefore, Paul declares in the book of Romans 8, verse 28 that, and we know that all things work together for good to them who love God, to them who are called according to His purpose. So whatever you're going through, know that the Rock of Ages stands with you in your present situation. And therefore you shall never be moved, though the storms of life toss and turn. Deuteronomy 32:31 says, for their rock is not like our rock. Our rock lives. He stands with us in all our situations, holding our hands as the rock of our salvation. I declare therefore, just as the Bible declares in 2 Samuel 22 verse 2, the Lord is the rock and fortress and my deliverer. There's a song I love by Seti Petty. It says, when you walk through a storm, hold your head up high and don't be afraid of the dark. And the end of the storm is a golden. At the end of the storm is a golden sky and the sweet silver song of lark. Walk on through the wind, walk on through the rain. Though your dreams be tossed and blown, walk on, with hope in your heart, and you'll never walk alone. Therefore I say to you, Ebenezer, thus far the Lord has carried me. For in my storms He never left my side. I stand here proudly saying, I am because God is.